So realized vol was it's pretty stable in in Bitcoin. Back up to about 54. We look at the Parkinson's realized vol here, which captures the high-low ranges as well. Implied vol was up. You can see here. So these term structures, you can see that they are a funky shaped term structure. It's not often we see term structures quite as sort of like a right angle like this. Obviously, it's because we've got the election in here. So you can see the front end from a week ago, the front end has spiked quite considerably up to here. That's the election debate premium. And then anything in September through to October is higher as well. So you've got that, and then you've got that hump there in November in both Ethereum and Bitcoin. So that's still pricing in about a 10% move for the election. But that front end bid that we've seen is because people are expecting Gamma to actually perform quite well. We've got positive carry here of around 6 vols in terms of variance risk premium. So I'd expect we probably do get quite a choppy move around the debate, and then this front end gets hit after inflation data, basically. So it might hold up a bit off for the inflation data. So, I would have thought not necessarily owning the 13th, but even if you own like some 20th of September stuff, we've got that captures FOMC, it captures the inflation, and it captures the debate tonight. So maybe trading the Gamma around the 20th of September bucket might not be a bad thing to do tonight if you are going to be up to be able to trade the debate, which is happening late Eastern time. Okay, that's what I'm seeing on realized and term structure. Right, moving on. So this kind of shows us, I've put a bit more data in here to kind of show what's going on. So you can see the front end was up 14 vols, 9 vols next week, and then about 5 vols for end of September here. The back end of the curve was only up like 1.5 to 2 vols. Similar story in Ethereum, not quite as much of a bid in the front, but remember the front was trading above Bitcoin to start with. Here's your sort of time series of what's been going on in vols. So we did see last week front end get as low as sort of 45. That's the 1 week stuff. And now it's sitting there slightly elevated, obviously for the debate. This skew, as we broke down on Friday, you did see skew get as low as kind of 8 vols for puts. That has recovered to very close to kind of neutral again, as spot recovered as well. So this front end skew often does track spot very well. Looking at Ethereum, you got some spikes there in the front end vol as Ethereum price action was a bit worse. And the put skew got as far as 10 vols for puts and has recovered as well to about 4 or 5. So similar price action between the two assets, but in general, more of a put skew maintaining on Ethereum because, that is the worst. That has been the worst performer and is expected to have a higher beta to the downside. Okay, that is the at the money vols and skews. Now I've added these new charts, which I think are a really nice optic to look at because they basically tell you the story in a very succinct way, right? So the idea here is we've got the term structure of skew, okay, on Bitcoin. So it's telling us and how that's evolved over time. So a month ago, a week ago, yesterday, today, etc. So it's just showing you when this is quite steep, it's showing you that there's near-term caution and there's longer-term optimism. Okay, so a week ago we had probably a bit of a steeper curve, but you can see so we're probably a little bit less cautious than we were near-term because obviously we bounced to 57k. But you got about 0. You got like a neutral skew in there in terms of the front end, and then the back end skew is still for calls, but again, that has been coming down a little bit, right? So that's showing you the term structure of skew for Bitcoin. The term structure of skew for ETH, we've got like a minus 3 or 4 vols, so put premium in the front end, and that steepens out to about 5 vols in the back. So it is a steeper curve in Ethereum, as you can see, because there's more near-term caution in Ethereum than there is in Bitcoin, basically. Okay, so these are the charts that we are going to be throwing in every week because I quite like the way of looking at it like that. Okay, front end skews already mentioned. They did get to 7 to 10 vols for puts as spot broke down, but they have recovered quite strongly with the recovery we saw yesterday in crypto, in broad crypto markets. This is the relative value page. So ETH versus Bitcoin. We've got the vol spread and the skew spread. So again, you've seen that data previous, but this is just a different way of looking at it. So, a few days ago, we did have quite a hefty ETH premium that has started to come in a little bit. So you can see here, front end is at about 10. In fact, the whole curve's at about 10 vols along here, except for the very front, which is at 6, because it contains the debate basically tonight. Skew wise, here's your kind of 1 week ago versus today. We have had a bit of a pop there in the relative pricing of calls. So a bit more call skew coming back for Ethereum there over Bitcoin skew for those calls. So that is in positive territory. But then you look here in the short term, we've got 3 vols more put skew than Bitcoin, right? So that's telling us, again, similar to what the skew term structures of the individuals are telling us, this skew term structure is saying to us, in the near term, we are more nervous about Ethereum deep downside because price action is horrible and it could really break big support levels and go a long way. And on the long side, longer term, we're bullish, and arguably we do think Ethereum has even more upside in it because it could have a catch up. And that's essentially what that steepening of that skew, that relative value skew term structure, that's essentially what that is telling us. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it for the new vol charts that I'm going to kind of go through every week. I think it's quite a nice way of kind of visualizing it graphically there.
Hi everyone, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Remember, this is just a little taster of what we do at Options Insight. To get access to all our research, including my in-depth vol market insights, flows and positioning report, and my portfolio trades, and a whole lot more, you can sign up for a free 1-month trial at options-insight.com. I'll see you soon.